it's not a given that the British Prime Minister comes to visit Austria. Your last visit, or the last visit of a Prime Minister, is 9 years ago. So I'm very honoured that you've made it to our country. We met last year during a working group for we realized that we have very similar points of view, and that also, on a personal level, we got along really well. And the British ambassador here to Austria has also helped us make this visit happen, which we're very glad about. So why are we getting together? Well, there are a lot of topics that affect both for our countries, and many topics where it's necessary from an Austrian point of view and also from a European point of view to have allies. Tackling illegal migration is something that affects us in the European Union, but also affects the United Kingdom, of course. And that's why we have been in close contact about finding solutions and on figuring out how to find solutions for this challenge. And the UK plays an essential role here. Why is that the case? Well, because in this question, too, we agree and we are strategic partners when it comes to making sure that asylum proceedings should happen in safe third countries. The UK is therefore also a pioneer for this model, a model and the path that will be important for the European as well. The Rwanda model is a solution for us to have asylum proceedings in safe third countries, and that's something we need to put on the EU's agenda as well. And that's important because only if we manage to do that, we will manage to, first of all, battling organized crime by really destroying their business model, if you will, because asylum proceedings in safe third countries means that the business model of promising people to get them within the borders of the European Union or the UK no longer applies. That promise can no longer be made if we have such proceedings. And on the other hand, we will be able to also save human lives, because having asylum proceedings in safe third countries means that we don't have dangerous smuggling routes. It means putting an end to death in the Mediterranean or across the English Channel. Within the European Union, this is still a stony path ahead of us. We've now got 15 states that are allies to Austria when it comes to this topic and when it comes to pushing this change to the legal procedure in the European Union. Denmark is an important ally here, and with our partnership with the UK, I'm hoping that we will be successful in creating change in this process. And that's why, from the Austrian point of view, we support the British path and the British model. I think it's very important. I think it's essential, in fact. But, of course, we've also discussed many other topics during our meeting because our world is becoming increasingly insecure. We still have the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine, and the UK plays an important role when it comes to supporting Ukraine. So we discussed the Austrian position and Austrian solidarity here, but we also discussed the options that we have when it comes to continuously supporting Ukraine during this difficult time. Austria as a neutral country within the European Union and also in partnership with the United Kingdom. Moreover, we also discussed the situation in the West Balkans. The UK is also a strong partner here when it comes to integrating the Western Balkans into the European Union, when it comes to, offering them a perspective. And also the UK is an important partner in terms of security in this region. And that's why we have a very close cooperation with them, for which I'm very grateful. And, of course, we also discussed the war in the Middle East and the highly difficult situation underway there. And we both agree that the decision of the International Court of Justice hasn't been very helpful in this very challenging time for Israel. We have a lot that we are still planning on doing together. We have developed a very strong friendship, and I'm very happy that this partnership between the UK and Austria has been lifted to this new level, and I will do my best in continuing this partnership and friendship. Rishi, thank you so much for coming to Austria, and welcome once again. Thank you, Chancellor. Prime Minister, you have the floor.
Well, Chancellor Nehammer, Karl, it's so wonderful to be here in Austria, especially after our very warm meeting that we had together last year, where, as you said, we built a very strong friendship and a partnership, and it has been good to continue that dialogue with you this morning. And Austria is an important partner and an important friend for the United Kingdom. Last year, we signed new bilateral agreements to build that partnership, to strengthen our security and to tackle illegal migration. We grew our bilateral trade to £10 billion last year, and today we've taken steps to deepen that relationship even further. Now, as Karl mentioned, we see eye to eye on many of the big challenges before us, and we're committed to addressing them together. We're unwavering in our support for Ukraine, and Austria has rightly called out Russia for breaking international law, expelled Russian diplomats, and given vital humanitarian support to the Ukrainian people. And now, we've discussed what more we can do together on the economic front to ensure that Russia's war machine is not supported. Now, we've also discussed, as you heard, the Middle East, where we've been working closely together already to urgently get aid in and get the hostages out. We touched on our concerns in Balkans, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the work that both our nations are doing to preserve stability in the region. And again, I very much welcome Austria's leadership in this area, and I'm grateful to all the engagement that Karl has put into that part of our continent. And of course, in conclusion, we discussed illegal migration. This has become truly one of the defining issues of our time. We face criminal gangs that are growing in strength across our European continent and beyond, and they're exacting a terrible human toll. People are losing. They are exploited by these criminal gangs, and it is, of course, a threat to our stability, to the rule of law, and rightly, our citizens are demanding that their leaders, their politicians, tackle it. And that's what both Karl and I are doing, and I really do want to congratulate Karl on his leadership here, because he's been right on this issue for a long time in Europe in making sure that this is a topic that gets the attention that it deserves. And in our joint statement today, we've committed to deepening our cooperation to end this vile trade. And what both of us agree is that business as usual won't solve this problem. We have to think creatively. We have deterrence, removals to safe third countries, like the UK's pioneering Rwanda scheme. And as Karl said, it's increasingly clear that many other countries now agree that that is the approach that is required. Bold, novel, looking at safe country partnerships. Karl was right on that a while ago, and I'm delighted that now 15 European countries together have joined in supporting that position. So we will keep increasing our shared ambition and urgency, bringing others along with us on the journey as we have, including when we meet at the European Political Community, which I'm proud to be hosting in Blenheim Palace in July. And that will be a moment where we can take further action on all the issues that we've been discussing today. And I'll close on this last point. As you know, there's an interesting echo of history here, because Blenheim Palace is named after the Battle of Blenheim in 1704, when Britain and Austria came together under the Grand Alliance to protect Vienna. Now, the circumstances are somewhat different today, but it is a reminder that our relationship, our friendship, our partnership has very deep roots. And today's discussions show that it also has a very bright future. Karl, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I don't think they're taking any questions. Just tell us why he's there.
So he's meeting with the Austrian president, the Chancellor, I think deepening ties, talking about immigration, a comfort zone for the Prime Minister now that his Rwanda bill has gone through the Commons. There was lots of talk there of partnership and friendship. They also discussed events in the Middle East and their Rishi Sunak's talking about the economic front for Ukraine, giving more weapons there. So talking about big international moments of our time, I think also because they have a similar point of view on on his Rwanda scheme, which they've talked about as the safe third countries for processing asylum claimants, talking about breaking the business model of these criminal gangs. I think he's trying to shore up support internationally for his domestic politics, and the Chancellor even referred to the UK as a pioneer for this model of dealing with immigration.